This is the story of something truly terrifying. I am going to tell you about an experience that still haunts me to this day. It happened to a man named Daniel, a regular guy with a regular life, until the night everything changed inside an elevator. Daniel worked late shifts at an office building downtown. It was an old building, almost abandoned at night, with only a few security guards around. That night, it was past midnight when he finally packed up his things and headed to the elevator. The hallway was silent, the flickering tube lights making it feel even eerier. He pressed the elevator button, and with a dull ding, the doors slid open. The elevator was empty. He stepped inside, pressed the button for the ground floor, and leaned back against the wall, exhausted. The doors closed, and the elevator started moving down. But then, something strange happened. The lights inside flickered, and the elevator jerked violently. It stopped between floors. Daniel sighed, thinking it was just a technical glitch. He pressed the emergency button. Nothing happened. He tried calling someone, but there was no signal. And then, the worst thing happened. The elevator started moving again, but instead of going down, it went up. Slowly, silently. The numbers on the panel changed. 7, 8, 9, far beyond his office floor. Daniel's heart pounded. There were only 10 floors in the building. Where was the elevator going? When it reached the 10th floor, the elevator didn't stop. It kept going. 11, 12, 13. But there was no 13th floor in the building. The elevator stopped. The doors opened. A dark, endless hallway stretched before him. The lights were dim, flickering weakly. The air was cold, too cold for an indoor space. Daniel hesitated. His instincts screamed at him to stay inside, to press the button and leave. But something about that hallway pulled him in. It was like a whisper in his mind, urging him to step out. He took a cautious step forward. The floor beneath him felt uneven, almost like it was shifting. He turned back to the elevator, but the doors had already closed behind him. The panel had no buttons. No way to call it back. A sound echoed from the hallway. A soft, dragging sound, like something heavy being pulled across the floor. Daniel's breath caught in his throat. He slowly walked forward, his heartbeat hammering in his ears. As he moved deeper into the hallway, the walls seemed to change. They became wrong. They stretched and shifted, like shadows moving on their own. He tried to turn back, but the hallway behind him had disappeared into darkness. There was only one way to go, forward. Then he saw it. A figure stood at the end of the hallway. A tall, twisted silhouette, its head bent unnaturally to one side. It had no face, just darkness where its features should have been. But Daniel could feel its eyes, watching, waiting. His body refused to move. The air became thick, heavy, pressing against him like an invisible force. Then the figure moved, not like a person, not like anything human. It flickered, one moment standing still, the next, closer. Too close. Daniel ran. His legs felt like lead, but he forced them to move. The hallway twisted and turned, stretching endlessly. No doors, no windows. Just the cold, suffocating dark. Then a sound behind him. A whisper. Soft. Sinister. You shouldn't be here. He didn't dare look back. He ran faster, his lungs burning. The whisper grew louder, the voice crawling into his mind. You belong here. Now? No. No. He didn't. He refused to. And then, he saw it. A door at the end of the hallway, barely visible through the darkness. He lunged toward it, his fingers grasping the handle. It was locked. The whisper was right behind him now. With a desperate scream, he pounded on the door. It wouldn't budge. The air around him grew colder, and then, a hand touched his shoulder. Daniel turned, and everything went black. He woke up on the floor of the elevator. The doors were open, showing the familiar lobby of his office building. The security guard was standing there looking down at him with concern. "Sir, Are you okay? The guard asked. Daniel's body ached. His hands were ice cold. He scrambled to his feet, his eyes darting around. The hallway, the thing, it was all gone. The elevator was normal again. He stumbled out, glancing at the elevator panel. The highest floor shown was still 10. There was no 13th floor. Sir? The guard repeated. Daniel shook his head. The elevator. It went to a floor that doesn't exist, he whispered. The guard frowned. You must be tired. You were alone in there for barely a second. The doors opened, and you just collapsed. Second? No. He had been running through that hallway for what felt like an eternity. Daniel turned back to the elevator. The doors were closing, and for the briefest moment, in the reflection of the metal doors, he saw it again, the faceless figure. Watching him, the doors shut. Daniel never took the elevator again.